and transparency and checks and balances to not push these things through so quickly to where the public doesn't have an opportunity to comment.
Would they not have an opportunity to comment tonight?
With 1 day of leeway, no. Some people may not have had the opportunity to see it in the paper or to check the site to see what's on the agenda.
Are these resolutions on our website?
Yes, they are.
It's just a matter of time, one day at a time.
When were they posted on the website?
Friday afternoon before 5.
Yeah, it's still not a week.
Well, it's actually 2 weeks of time.
Last Friday?
If I might make a suggestion, maybe on the second and the fourth work sessions of the month, we introduce them, then we vote on them on the first and the third evening legislative sessions. That way the people would have 1 full week.
Yeah, I would support that.
The council cannot introduce legislation at a work session. It has to be done in the legislative session.
Okay,
If that's the case, then that's basically, this is a moot point.
Well, no.
No.
Then we
You
should
said
have
that
2
you
weeks.
could not introduce it
It's
in
in
the work session.
The work session is now.
Exactly.
In the morning, you can't introduce it in the morning,
That's what we're saying.
but you can introduce it in the evening and pass it in the evening.
You could.
Right.
Well, you
Could.
said
And
what
that's
you
what I'm
said at the
asking.
same meeting.
I'm asking the preference of the council on whether it's necessary to wait 2 weeks before we vote on it again.
I'd say yes, as a matter of process, it's necessary that we allow the public enough time to weigh in.
So what you're essentially saying is you want to introduce it in the evening and vote on it that evening.
I asked
You're
her,
saying no.
No, it was a few years ago that we changed the agenda on commissioner agendas, that there would be introduction and then action. And it was from a public outcry that too many things were being voted on too quickly, that they didn't have an opportunity to test.
Director Wine, you know of the delay of confirmation will create any hardship or anything?
I'm not saying no.
I believe so. Okay. All right, then, we'll move on to, the nomination for historic designation. Director Sandstrom, do you want to bring forward this resolution?
Thank you, Mr. President. This item concerns a nomination from Mr. and Mrs. Bland for what is known as Town Point School Number 4. This is a structure that was erected in 1877 as a one-room schoolhouse. It was used as a schoolhouse from 1877 to 1938. For a short period after that, it was used as a grocery store, and then from that point to the present, it was used as a residence. The cost of the original structure was $420. Correct, today's cost for school is a little different. The Blands feel that it's of significance because the original foundation is still in place, the original windows are still in place, and the original flooring in the one-room schoolhouse is still intact. And the Planning Commission, as well as the Historic District Commission, have reviewed the application and have forwarded a recommendation of approval to the County Council.
Is there any fiscal impact?
No. The only thing that may occur is if the plans do something in the future, as far as renovations, and they take that to the council, or to the Historic District Commission. The commission reviews that and finds that the work that was done was appropriate work, then the plans could request 10% of that cost to be credited against their property tax. But that is not something that most individuals who have the previous 27 individuals who have received historic designation by the local legislative body have done. In the past, we've only had a few property owners take advantage of that.
But that would come back before the council for approval?
Correct. Yeah, you would have to approve that before that would be changed. The credit would be reflected on their property tax.
Are there any questions regarding this nomination for the historic designation by the council members?
No, I think it's a
All right, the next item on our agenda for this evening for introduction is resolution number 58-2013. No, I'm sorry. 57-2013, litigation settlement for building products versus Cecil County. Aaron, Mr. Wine, do you have anything new to report?
Mr. Allison presented a detailed overview of this resolution. Generally, what it's doing is reflecting a consent order in the circuit court that vacates the board's April 19, 2011 rezoning of the subject Jordan property from N2 to NAR and remands the matter back to the county with the direction of restoring that zoning designation to M2 heavy industrial, which was the original zoning for that property.
Okay, are there any questions from the council members?
I'll just make a statement that the reason why we're doing this now, in my opinion, is that we're close to the trial date, and the judge gave every indication that the commissioners were well within their authority and was probably gonna rule in our favor. If we move forward on this, what we're saying is if you go against a company with deep enough pockets, you can ignore the integrity of the process. Many residents from Carpenter's Point area took time out of their busy schedules to testify during the comprehensive rezoning process in opposition to York Building Products request. They organized, prepared presentations on the merits, and provided a strong argument for changing the parcel to NER. They answered the question, what is the appropriate zoning in 2011? And we can't ignore that the judge gave every indication that we were well within our authority to do so and follow the correct process. I can't help but reflect on the suit the county brought against the town of Northeast. Cost never seemed to be an issue in that case, and I had expressed reservations, and for good reason. The PSC found that the town wasn't charging enough. We have to remember who we're representing when we sit up here, and it's not just ourselves or those who fund our campaigns, it's all the citizens of the county. And I have to say that if you've received any campaign donations from York Building Products, you need to recuse yourself from this bid.
All right, are there any other questions from the council members? All right, the last resolution to be introduced is resolution number 58-2013. This is an approval of a refinancing bond. We had discussion earlier with Mr. Toomey and the YMCA. There's no further need for discussion of that, right? Okay, Mr. Master, do you have a council manager report?
Is there something on the council return? 43-2013.
That's for consideration. We normally just review the legislations that were for introduction.
Well, we discussed adding or amending.
To remind the council, this afternoon at 2:30 is the ribbon cutting for the step pool stormwater conveyance at the central landfill, and that there will be transportation if you want to go from this building. As I had stated, George Grimhoff, that is our ham radio operator, will be making a presentation about the ham radio operators' support for emergency operations next Tuesday, the 11th. Frank Hodgetts from Home Partnership was unable to be with us this afternoon. He is still waiting on the appraisal, and he'll tentatively be rescheduled for next Tuesday, the 11th. We will be, the council will have a session on June 11th at 1:30 with the Upper Bay Counseling. They want to update us on their mental health first aid initiative, which is a national initiative to teach a new version of first aid that includes mental health issues. We're getting more details on the port tour, which will take place on June 18th. The council had said you will meet in work session at 9 and recess so that we can leave at 10 to get to the Maryland Port Authority at 2001 Roning Highway. And we're making arrangements for the public and press to attend as an open meeting to learn about the economic impact of the harbor on the state and Cecil County. We did get an update from the Airport Authority, Robert Powell.
No, not the Airport Authority.
Oh, from Robert Powell.
Powell's the owner of the airport.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I was asked to pass out a summary.
Generally, the commissioners, and I think one time the council has had the airport come and meet with us about every 6 months. The question is it really necessary if there's any new developments? And more importantly, that the airport is in litigation with the county, and there's a fear that it could impact the litigation with the airport. But these are some of the issues that are new at the airport that are pending. Do we need Robert Powell to come in and discuss these issues with us, or are we okay with this summary?
Do we want to post this summary on the website so people would understand what we're talking about?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I can't read it that quickly, because it's a full page.
Okay, then we'll just get back to Mr. Massey on the questions.
All right.
Wanted to let people know that we have received notice from the town of Northeast about an annexation resolution. It's for north of the railroad road, east side of North Main Street extended. It's 11.5 acres, and the public hearing will be on June 26th at 7 p.m. in the town hall in Northeast. But they're not requiring any action from the council. And then I have prepared a thank you letter to the members of the Citizens Advisory Board that I'd like to pass out and let you review, and perhaps at the next meeting, give me any feedback. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Before we go further on the agenda, there are 3 resolutions for consideration tonight. Do any of the council members have any questions regarding those resolutions? One is regarding the council attorney, one regarding the feasibility study for the Maryland Horse Park, and one is for the Conomingo Mobile Park nutrient credit. Are there any questions about the resolutions that we will be making a decision on?
I'll just make a statement.
I would prefer you make your statements during the discussion, but if you need to, help yourself. But the opportunity today is to discuss it, not for statements.
It's an opportunity to make a statement, and I think it's important. And the council attorney is one of those indications to me, another indication that the county charter form of government is a failure. The budget, as well as the government, has grown, and it can because the county executive exercises unilateral control over Cecil County government. There are no checks and balances, and having one attorney to represent both the county and the council is just another indication of what kind of government we really have. And regarding the feasibility study for the Maryland Horse Park, I would have liked to honor the request from the public. We know the history of the pursuit of the Maryland Horse Park at Fair Hill. And transparency and buy-in from the public is needed. no reason why we couldn't have had any meeting before we introduced this resolution. But the majority of the council, decided not to go in that direction, and they also, said that they would not commit to, voting against, the study if it entailed that we had to have a covered arena at Fairfield.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does the staff have anything else they'd like to bring to our attention? Then, council members, items, comments. Ms. Bowlesby, do you have anything?
Just two things. I attended the Cecil Leadership Institute banquet last Wednesday night. Our own Jim Massey was one of the graduates, and it was a really good affair. And it's an interesting. I think that the Leadership Institute develops really good community leaders. And I think that it would behoove the council and the county executive to look at graduates from the Institute when they're looking to fill positions on various boards and commissions. The other thing that I attended, as we all did, was the Bay Cabinet meeting, and I came away feeling somewhat, I don't want to say depressed, but disillusioned with the cooperation that we're getting from the state. I do not feel that this, what I heard was, yeah, the Conowingo Dam is causing some problems. Yeah, Pennsylvania's not doing what they're supposed to do, but that doesn't mean that you don't have to spend the money that we're telling you you have to spend. And that's it.
Thank you. Councilwoman Brunel, do you have any comments that we haven't already said?
Peter. The Chesapeake Bay Cabinet meeting, Joyce, I would have to agree with that assessment, but I was somewhat encouraged by Secretary Summers' acknowledgement of the information that Chip McLeod presented, and his wanting to look at the citations that he used to back up his report. So this is a opening that I hope we can pursue and get a discussion going about a regional approach in addressing the sediment, the pollution that is going to be a whole lot more effective than bankrupting local governments. On Thursday, I had attended the graduation or the award ceremony for Perryville High School, and presented the scholarship, or council scholarship, to Ashley Tepper. And she is going to go to Cecil College to become a registered nurse and accomplish her goals within the medical field. I always enjoy going to these programs and seeing what high quality students we have, and she was just one of many. I also that day attended a community meeting on Holland Acres. They were meeting with our stormwater management division, Van Pump and Cordell Llewellyn, regarding the letter they received about the maintenance of the stormwater pond. And I would like to have a meeting for at least afford them the opportunity to come to a work session to express their concern of why they believe that they are not responsible for the maintenance, that the developer never met his obligation in getting the repairs done before it was shifted, the responsibility was shifted over to the homeowners association. And I'm very familiar with this case. It's been ongoing, trying to get the developer to get these fixes completed, and I know they went out of their way, this community went out of their way not to touch that pond because they knew once they did, they would assume responsibility. This is, I think, going to be a good test case to make sure that we're going after the ones responsible. I wanted to refer to an article I read in the Herald, May 28, 2013 edition. It had an article, County Council announces adoption of budget for fiscal year 2014. The most significant project within the approved capital budget is the mandated Northeast River Advanced Wastewater Treatment Plant Center Point Enhanced Nutrient Reduction Project. Not only will this reduce nutrients into our waterways, this approval moves Cecil County Board with the ability to provide sewer allocation expansion to attract businesses to our growth corridor that will provide new and additional jobs for our community. I read this to Dan Whitehurst, and we were both just appalled. This does the exact opposite. The investment, as I've said many times, needs to be on our infrastructure pipes in the growth corridor. The investment of $30 million in the Seneca Point Treatment Plant for MBR rather than the denitrification filters. It's a waste of money. It's something we don't have to do, and it's one of the biggest examples of county waste and moving in the wrong direction. And once again, we've missed the boat on getting the infrastructure in the Route 40 corridor.
Thank you. Councilman Dunn.
Sure, just one brief item. On Tuesday night, very proud to present our county council scholarship at Rising Sun High School, and I wanted to congratulate the recipient, Alyssa Fala of Rising Sun.
Thank you. Councilman McCarthy.
I also attended the governor's Bay cabinet meeting at Robinson Brownstone. It was interesting. Overall, I was kind of disappointed with their coverage. The other thing I attended on Thursday night was basically, this is Sunnybrook. It's a development right outside of Chesapeake City. Their stormwater management pond has basically not been attended to in approximately 15 to 20 years. They asked me to attend. I went to Dan Funk. He made an excellent presentation to the people. I think everything's going to get resolved. But they had one question, and I might direct this to Mr. Flanagan. They have a number of trees, which I suggested they just basically run through a chipper. They wanted to know if basically they could drop off the chips at the landfill, or should they solicit another person who might be able to sell them? Do you have any contingencies for these types of things?
The county code does include a provision for tipping fee waivers. However, I do not believe that this situation would fit any of those categories in there. So it does not seem to me as though this would likely qualify for a tipping fee waiver. As of July 1st, the tipping fee for disposal of wood chips is $15 per ton at the landfill. At the present time, wood chips are classified as green waste with a tipping fee of, I believe it's $25 per ton. But on July 1st, for wood chips, that'll go down. That's one of the adjustments that was included in that Solid Waste Management Division fee schedule.
I'm certainly greatly happy with that number, because it's about a quarter of what I thought it would be.
Okay, I think there are two other options, and one of them is I believe that Dan Newway contractors on Route 40
I suggested that to them.
will either take them, they'll either take them for free or may buy them, or their fee may be less and they should shop around. There's also another wood recycling place on Route 7 that will take wood chips, and they'll actually take wood in general, or lumber, timber, wood cuttings and so forth, and I think they grind it up further. So I think there's some other options out there that could be investigated if the cost of the county is too high.
Already suggested that to them.
Okay.
I forgot to add something. We both attended Robert and I attended the presentation from Bainbridge Elementary School, the 4th grade class. They did a 4th grade survey on the Chesapeake Bay. It was a number of questions showing the impact, what the impacts are to the bay, and how certain they also cleaned up 1,500 pounds of trash near the school, and talked about, the effect that had in cleaning up the tributary. So, this was in collaboration with the Perryville Library, and I had an opportunity to speak with the librarian, as well, and, they were, I just wanted to reiterate how much the library does have an impact in our community. They had heard the presentation for the budget, and there was, testimony from the Patriots about, getting rid of the libraries, that we no longer need them because we have Google. There's just so much that the libraries do for our community, and Cecil County is exceptional in, they've been awarded, through the state for their support of small businesses. But they also, have a number of, things that they support in communities, the history. They give a number of talks on, coming up is the C&D Canal, the history of the Ukrainians settling here. They did the thing on Olaf Bell Reed, and her, and the history of the Bluegrass, Hall of Fame. But there's just a number of things that they do in our community that is invaluable, and I appreciate all the help and support that they've given, actually on the box top program, and they had said that in Elkton, it has been increasing rapidly, the number of, box tops that have been donated, but in the other locations as well.
Thank you. Mr. McCarthy, have you finished with your comments? I'd just like to say one thing about citizen input and comments. I don't think there's a need to have a public hearing about every decision that the council makes, because I believe strongly that the citizens do have the opportunity, they should have the opportunity to have personal meetings with their councilmen. They have every opportunity to call them on the phone. They have every opportunity to send emails. They have every opportunity to send letters. They have every opportunity to visit the Citizens Corner on prior to our legislative sessions. And they have every opportunity to come to the public comment section of every legislative meeting that we have. And I would encourage that. I just don't think it's necessary to have a public hearing every time that we make a decision. And so, at the end of the day, I certainly encourage public input and comments, but I do believe that we can make decisions without having public hearings on every matter. And so, I think that we should reserve those decisions that are more complicated and require that input for giving us some direction. The citizens elected us to make decisions, and I hope that they trust our competence and our commitment to the job. So,
I strongly disagree.
okay, that's fine.
And
Wait, time out.
there
Time
needs to
out.
be a
Point
process.
of order, the president is speaking.
This
and
is
it's
not
his
a
time.
debate, this is my comment, I'm bringing it up. This, as we discussed before, council comments and our opportunity to speak our mind. That this is no reflection of a disagreement with you. This is my personal feeling, and we will not have a debate, we will not have a discussion about this particular issue. We're not gonna have discussion about the comments that you made either. So, is there any other business before the council for our work session meeting this morning?
Well, I would like to just make a comment in that.
No, you've already had 2 chances
Well,
at
you
your
fell
comments.
for it, now you're not. Okay.
Save it for tonight.
Do it, yeah.
Okay. Business, not
In support of the president, I would suggest.
No, we're not, save it. Save it. We're not supporting, we're not, okay. Is there any other business? Okay, is there a motion for adjournment?
I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.